Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to Lamahat, Moments with the Quran, with Mufti Abdul Rahman and myself. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you guys, our families are well, communities are well. Inshallah, we're going to start off with some recitation and then we will kick off our second last episode with Lamahat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wafran.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shaykh, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Good.
Guys, Khatm al-Quran tonight?
Yeah.
Allahumma taqabbal. When are you flying to Houston?
Tomorrow, inshallah. Tomorrow in the evening.
Allahumma taqabbal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your parents' sacrifice. You spending your whole month away from home, reading Taraweeh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all the sadaqah jariyah, inshallah. Bismillah, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله الرجيم بسم الرحيم.
One second. Hello? Assalamu alaikum. There's this echo. Do I only hear it? Or
I think it's on you.
one second. Can you refresh? Assalamu alaikum. I know there was an echo sound coming. Let me try again, inshallah. And hopefully this time there will be. How's everyone doing, guys? This is tonight in Flint. We will be reciting our last juz amma. Will be our completion of the Quran, and all those people who have completed the Quran, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept their recitation. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yalla, let's start again. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنا نخاف من ربنا يوما عبوسا قمطريرا فوقاهم الله شر ذلك اليوم ولقاهم نضرة وسرورا صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله, takbir, Allahu Akbar, takbir, Allahu Akbar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your recitation. surah Insan, Surah Dahar, these verses of Jannah and these verses of the beginning verses of Surah Al Ta'ala Insan is so powerful. May Allah accept. If you knew, I don't know if you know the background how the surah was revealed. Do you know, Ghufran?
Yeah, about Ali radiallahu anhu.
Tell us.
It's better if you tell me.
No, no, you know, mashallah, I'm proud of you. You pass, you pass. May Allah accept your recitation and keep us in your du'as. I don't know if I'm going to see you in person, but we'll see you again very soon, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Eid Mubarak, Ghufran, to you and your family, inshallah. When you get there, Tala Fan said, Mubarak, he's Maulana, big sheikh now.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Take care. Assalamu
Jazakumullah.
alaikum. MashaAllah, Hafiz Ghufran, he has an older brother. His name is Affan. He used to recite for us last year. He went to Karachi this year, became a scholar. He's an alim now. He's Hafiz, MashaAllah. Now his younger brother, who's from Houston, his name is Ghufran. He will be joining the last year too now. He will be a scholar in one more year. Great young man, very good kids. May Allah protect them, inshallah, and reward their teachers, their parents for all their sacrifice and efforts. Guys, what's going on? How's everything? How's your family? Are you guys excited? Looking forward to Eid? I'm excited, but I'm sad. I'm sad for multiple reasons. One is this half an hour you guys enjoy with Mufti Abdul Rahman. I equally enjoy it with Mufti Abdul Rahman. So this is the most I get to talk to him all year, is in the live session. And you guys know what happens in the live session. I humble him. You know, he acts like this big mufti with this big turban on. Perfect chance to, humble him. And I get to learn from him. I get to get inspired by him, just like all of you guys. So then the chat, everyone here, I read your comments. If you post a comment later on, I read the comments. I mean, you know me, I follow numbers, I follow comments. I'm all about that algorithm stuff. And people that say, oh, I don't care, Allah is happy with me, I'm doing it for the sake of Allah, bunch of liars. You can do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you can also grow your following. So it's nothing wrong with that, inshallah. What happened? What are you doing?
But yeah, man, come on, bro. Like, don't expose yourself like that.
I'm not exposing myself. See, some people, they get exposed. Some people just expose themselves. How you doing?
You got the point, guys. When you guys get down to live, drop some comments for Shaykh Abdullah there. He likes that. It pumps him up. It encourages him. Maybe he won't miss as many sessions next year if you guys put some comments there. And we have these spammers. Bajan.
Mm-hmm.
Shaykh Abdullah is uncancelable. This is the comment of the year right here. That's true, Bajan. I don't think are you afraid of being canceled out or no?
I am. I have to be careful, especially when you speak about certain sensitive topics, in-laws, wives, that kind of topic. You speak too much about it. My brothers won't take my back. These guys, they act like we got your back, Sheikh. We got your back. Say what you want. Nah. These guys, little machua, mouse in front of their wives. And they want me to speak on behalf of them. I ain't saying nothing. I love my women, sisters, brothers, aunties, khalas. I will never disrespect them.
All right, but we got.
In-laws. I love my in-laws.
Yeah, we know why you love your in-laws. We already established that early on in our tafsir sessions. All right, Bajan. So yeah, everyone drop some comments and make them happy. All right, make them happy, and they got your back. But all got your back.
No.
You don't believe them either?
Bewafa loge. No one got my back. I've in my life I have learned the only person who got your back is God.
No, Mazifa got your back. Where is he, Mazifa? Right here. Mazifa is asking how the fun was yesterday.
Everything is good. All praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises to Allah.
But yeah, everyone. So one person came to masjid yesterday, and he said he only watches the parts where like you crack jokes and stuff, which is kind of messed up. How about the middle part?
See, people are gonna smile and enter Jannah. We're gonna smile.
But they gotta benefit too.
They're benefiting. They're listening to you.
No, they're not.
They're not.
They just watch the beginning and they watch you roast me and they call it a day. They get laugh and leave.
Allah has written the opportunity for them to get guidance. They will get it somehow. And Allah guide all of us.
What did you eat today, Bajan? Could something happen to your food today, or you couldn't? Because I had
raisin in my rice. Raisins. I love it. Raisin and badam in my rice. It's my favorite dinner.
All right,
It's
mashallah,
Afghani, Iranian dish.
mashallah. But everyone's talking about your turban.
Yeah, today's Jum'ah, last Jum'ah Friday. I wanted to look holy like Mufti Abdul Rahman. And I usually wear a turban, but sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. And today is Khatam al-Quran. So it's Friday, it's the last Friday of Ramadan. It's Khatam al-Quran. I'm not, لو والله لو علم قبيح سريرتي لأبى السلام علي من تلقان. I'm not nowhere near the pious people, but if I can just mimic them, inshallah, one day I can become like them, at least be raised with them.
Let me say something for everybody on the chat and watching later. I know I've become known for my turban, but I was inspired by you, Bajan. You're my older brother. You're the one that taught me how to wear it. And, I've always wore it. I try to look up to you wearing it. So, that's true. So let's, Shaykh Abdullah is the one who started the trend in my family. He used to wear a turban when he was a kid, alhamdulillah. And then I used to look up to him and I start wearing it. Our kids wear it. So, hopefully we can uplift the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That's what, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yesterday I was at dua and Khatam al-Quran. Mufti Abdul Waheed did the dua. And I realized how much further my younger brothers have gone from me. Like I maybe have taught them what to do and how to do and how to wear and how to speak and how to teach and how to read Arabic. A lot of that stuff. I didn't teach you that stuff. I didn't teach you any that kind of stuff. I didn't teach you. You were, mashallah, ahead of me in education always. But and then watching and witnessing the younger brothers just pick up the baton and go further than I could have ever imagined. It was a very humbling experience. I couldn't hold my tears, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve all you guys, you, Shaykh Abdul Aziz, Mufti Abdul Wahab, and the work that you guys are doing. I feel like I've done nothing compared to what you guys have done. And I hope that I could just tug around with you guys and, make things happen, inshallah, with you guys.
No, but that's your saying that of just being humble. Let's get into it, Bajan, 29 juz.
Let's go, Mufti Saab. This is one of my favorite juz. Why? It's one of the easiest juz to memorize, repeat, revise, And it's beautiful surahs, starting from Surah Mulk, recite it before sleeping. Surah Qalam, Allah defending the Prophet's character. Go to Al-Haqqa, beautiful surah. The Ma'arij, Surah Nuh, Surah Jinn, Muzammil, Muddathir. All these surahs, many of these surahs were the first surahs that were ever revealed. Muddathir, Muzammil, Qalam, first 5 surahs that were revealed. So we're talking about early revelation, so much happening, so much support for the Prophet, a lot of changes in the life of the world. Go ahead, Mufti Saab.
But then when I look at the 29th juz, I feel like the 29th juz is the greatest wake-up call. That's what it is. It wakes you up. It shakes you. That's number one. And number two, because of the first 5 surahs revealed in the Quran, 3 of them in the 29th juz, I feel that there is these subliminal, direct and indirect messages, because the Prophet now is coming out of the cave and now introducing himself as a prophet of Allah. We're going to come out of Ramadan, and hopefully Ramadan was a life-changing experience, a wake-up call for us. So now after Ramadan, as a prophet exited from the cave, right, there's going to be, Allah gives us direct and indirect messages in this juz on what you should do to preserve what you just learned in this month of Ramadan. So that's my 2 reflections on the 29th juz, and I can go over them a little bit, slowly through the different surahs. But first of all, it's a wake-up call. Look at the names of the surah. Al-Haqqa, Mal-Haqqa. Then you have Sa'ala Sa'ilun bi'adhabin waqi'. Surah Qiyamah, La uqsim biyawm al-Qiyamah. Hal ata ala al-insani heenun min ad-dahr. Ya ayyuha muzammil, qum. Ya ayyuha al-mudaththir, qum. These are all wake-up calls, and it all starts with, how do you actually wake up? But then how do you actually wake up? The more you think about how do you wake up? The more you think about the moment you're going to sleep for the rest of your life. That's how you wake up.
Wow.
So why do we recite Surah Mulk before we sleep at night? So that we wake up with the right intention the next morning. Because the moment we recite Surah Mulk, it should bring that in our hearts, that, hey man, I got to wake up. Even though I'm awake, but I'm not awake. An-nasu niyamun idha matu intahabu. Ali ibn Abi Talib says, people are sleeping, even though they're walking around, but they're sleeping. And when they die, that's actually when they wake up. So when you start thinking about that aspect of life, as the next realm of yours. That's when you wake up. So this Ramadan is supposed to shake us. The moments of the Quran, du'as, these tears, they're supposed to make to the core of us, wake us up and say, what were we doing wrong in our life? What can we do better? That's why Allah, He says, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتِ وَالْحَيَاةِ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْغَفُورُ. And many mufassirin talk about, Bajan, you're there, you froze.
Yeah, man, I'm just mesmerized, just
Okay.
listening.
So when Allah says He's the one that created death and life, of all the different interpretations of this, all the different interpretations of why maut comes first, you have, like all this death, and you think about death. The one that I love the most is this interpretation of one mufassir. He says, Allah said, the one who created death and life, not life and death, because this life is death and akhirah is life.
Wow.
Okay, because later on in one of the other verses in the surah, the person in Qiyamah is saying hayati, right? It's in Surah Fajr. What does that say? The verse at the
يا
end of it?
ليتني قدمت لحياتي.
There you go. I was qaddamtu li hayati. I wish I prepared for my life. So
Wow.
this world,
Wow.
this world is
prepared
basically
for this life. Yeah.
this world. It's not even this life and that life. This is actually not life, because what good is youth that finishes?
وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا له ولعب وإن الدار الآخرة لهي الحيوان.
That's true life. That's the real life. We just say life in this world because we have to use the word life, but really life is in akhirah. What kind of the day when that animal will be brought in front of you and it will be slaughtered, and Allah will say, Bajan, say the hadith, Bajan, it's beautiful hadith. Innakum.
If it goes to be caption.
Yeah, say the hadith. Innakum.
Lamb will be brought in front of the people of Jannah and Jahannam, and it will be sacrificed. قال خلود لا موت لكم فيزداد أهل الجنة فرحا بفرح. The people of Jannah will get more excited because now there's nothing to worry about. ويزداد أهل النار حزن على حزن أو كما قال. And the people of Jahannam will just get more anguish and more grief because now there's no hope to die. So that's it.
Yeah, this is basically, this is our life in this world is basically for us like death. And if we think about it that way, then it doesn't. That's why Surah Mulk wakes you up at night, because that night that you're gonna sleep in is like death. So this is nothing. Inna dar al-akhir la hiya al-hayawan. That's the first wake up call. And at the end of the day, Bajan, all these different verses that Allah is sending us in this juz about Qiyamah, about Jannah and Jahannam, is to wake us up and say, look, the second thing that I want to use to wake you up is descriptive verses of people on the Day of Judgment. Like, is there any surah that in succession that have such descriptive scenes that are going to take place in the Day of Judgment? Bajan, recite that. Go over the verse of Surah Haqqa. What's going to happen? Say the verses, Bajan, and translate it.
Which part?
The one that when he gets the book of deeds in his right hand. Say that.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فيقول هاؤم اقرءوا كتابيه إني ظننت أني ملاق حسابيه فهو في عيشة راضية في جنة عالية قطوفها دانية كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما أسلفتم في الأيام الخالية وأما من أوتي كتابه بشماله فيقول يا ليتني لم أوت كتابيه ولم أدر ما حسابيه يا ليتها كانت القاضية ما أغنى عني ماليه هلك عني سلطانيه خذوه فغلوه ثم الجحيم صلوه. صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khair, man. Thank you so much.
Those verses are very heavy.
So heavy. And so that's the second part of this, right? Like the idea that, I gotta say something about this. You know what it is like to get into Akhirah? This is the example that I'll give. I know after a serious recitation, I'll take us back when we were kids. I remember we sat on the plane from Jeddah to New York. We sat on the plane, and when we got, at that time, it was 2006. At that time, everyone, it was right after summer vacation, so we had all these young people that got on the plane with us. Everyone's wearing these jubbas and thawbs and the red shawls and the black thing on their head, and all the sisters are wearing these abayas and niqabs, and it's like the whole Saudi was coming back with us. We were really tired, so but then you and me knocked out right when we took off. Okay, when we were about to land in New York, that's when we woke up. Like we woke up 13, 14 hours later. When we woke up, we looked around and we didn't recognize anyone in the plane because everyone basically changed their dressing. They changed what they were wearing, and we're like, whoa, where are we? But it was not a different Abdullah. It was not a different Abdul Rahman. We just the faces changed, but the mind was still the same. We remember coming from Makkah. We remember everything that just happened. Basically, this was the question that Umar ibn Khattab asked the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Ya Rasulullah, because now that's going to be, don't think it's going to be a different realm. We're going to be exactly the same people. When the Prophet asked Umar, oh Umar, what's going to happen to you when those angels are going to come to your grave? I fear for you. What's going to happen to you? And Umar ibn Khattab, and he gave a descriptive picture of Munkar and Nakir and how they are and how fearful they were going to be and how much fear they're going to put in someone's heart. And so when Umar al-Khattab heard the description of their eyes and their voice and their hands and their staff, a normal person hearing it will bring fear into their heart. Umar al-Khattab was sitting there. He said, Ya Rasulullah, let me ask you a question before I answer the question. He said, "Atarji uqulana?" Atarji uqulana is like basically, are we going to be the same people? Are we going to remember everything? And that's where we're coming to. Are we going to be the same people? And the Prophet said, Na'am. Yes, you are going to be the same. So then Umar al-Khattab, then he said, Idan akfikahuma ya Rasulullah. In Urdu, the word is, Main to unko akela nimta dunga. Ya Rasulullah, don't worry about me. I'll handle them myself. I don't need no help. I got them. I'll deal with them. So when Umar al-Khattab said this answer, the Prophet smiled. Jibreel Islam came down from the skies and he said, Ya Rasulullah, when you asked him this question, all the angels were waiting in the sky for his response. And they were patiently waiting. What is he going to say? And when he said that, all the angels smiled. And Allah sent me to tell you that when Umar goes into his grave and then Munkar and Nakir come to ask him a question, Man rabbuka ma dinuka man hadi rajul, Umar's going to flip the question and say, who's your Lord? And what is your deen? And which prophet do you believe in? And to a point where the way Umar will ask them, he will strike fear in their hearts. They're going to be confused. Did Allah send us to ask him a question, or did Allah send him to ask us questions?
Wow.
Okay, so think about that. That mind of ours is going to be the same, and that's what's going to happen in Qiyamah. But then we know early in Surah Tur, you're going to talk about conversations of Jannah one day, in Akhirah. We're going to be sitting with our family, and we're going to be thinking, how did we get here? How did we get here? إِنَّا كُنَّا مِن قَبْلُ فِي أَهْلِنَا مُشْفِقِينَ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ فَأَقْبَلَ بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. How did we make it here? And then we're going to start thinking, oh man, we used to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّا كُنَّا مِن قَبْلُ نَدْعُوهُ. We made dua for this. We literally asked and begged Allah for this. And we're going to remember those moments we asked Allah. Wallah, we're going to remember moments of the Quran.
You know that moment that from in Surah Tur, فَأَقْبَلَ بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. They're going to ask each other, like, how did you make it to Jannah?
Yeah.
Right? There's some people that are going to make it to Jannah just watching YouTube, praying at home and watching YouTube. Inshallah, different ways to make it.
You never know.
Yeah. So one of them, فَيَتَّكِيُ هَذَا وَيَتَّكِيُ هَذَا. One person will sit on one side, the other person will sit on the recliner, and they'll start talking and say, do you know مَتَى يُغْفَرُ لَنَا? Do you know when Allah forgave us? They'll remember the moment they did an act, and they will say, this small act was the reason why we're in Jannah. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَذَكَّرُ الْإِنسَانُ وَأَنَّى لَهُ الذِّكْرَى. Everyone's going to remember it. Even here, Mufti Sahib, قَالُوا بَلَا قَدْ جَاءَنَا نَذِيرٌ. When the angels ask the people who are going to hell, it's crazy ayah. كُلَّمَا أُلْقِيَ فِيهَا فَوْجٌ every time groups, armies of people are tossed into hell, سألهم خزنتها. You know what the worst feeling is? When you fail and then someone asks you, didn't you know you had exams today? Like, shut up your mouth, man. You failed that. Like, let me just like, Mufti Sahib, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So, but now the angels are just rubbing in the face of the people of hell. They're going to say, كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير. We had prophets, we heard the Quran. فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء. We said, this is not real. We don't have to apply this, right? إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير. The people of hell are gonna say, وقالوا لو كنا نسمع. This is what you guys are doing, guys. People who are watching online on their screens, I wish you guys can take pictures with your families, watching your screens. Send it to us on Instagram, especially with your children. Tonight's the second last night, and tomorrow we're going to do Juz Amma. Send us the pictures with your kids. Send us the pictures with your family. Inshallah, this is going to be shaheedan. This is going to be a witness that we all sat virtually, different parts of the world. Send your name, send the kids' names, and send where you're watching this from. Inshallah, we'll share it on our social media. But the fact, وَقَالُوا لَوْ كُنَّا, one of the things they didn't do that we're doing right now, inshallah,
Listen.
is just listen. قَالُوا لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ. And then أو نعقل, or if you just used our brain, دماغ استعمال kiya, like just to use our brain. The world occupies us so much, we don't get time to listen anymore. We don't get to think anymore. People think for us. People decide for us. The dunya, dictates to us. We would never be in this pit of hell. Now, فَاعْتَرَفُوا بِذَنْبِهِمْ. Everyone's going to recognize their mistake.
But Jan, let me say something about that. So since you brought that up, that sam'a part, that was my next segue. You tied it in perfectly. So there's that wake up call, the understanding that we're going to have to stand in front of Allah. This whole 29 juz talks about that. The more you understand that, the more you will wake up, and you will know that you're going to be held accountable, and that you're going to stand in front of the Prophet on the Day of Judgment, and he's going to be waiting for us. Now the second part is, okay, as I said, it's exiting the cave. The Prophet leaving the cave and coming to Mecca. We're exiting Ramadan. What are some mechanisms that the Prophet in this juz that Allah is teaching us that if you hold on to, you can still stay strong on your faith, even though you're not gonna be in Ramadan. You're not gonna have the same feeling. What is it? The first one you mentioned. The first thing is in Surah Mulk, it comes twice. لو كنا نسمع, and then وجعل لكم السمع, both times. Okay, the idea is keep listening to good things. That's the first way to stay fresh. Keep listening. The people of Jahannam are saying that we never listen. And in Surah Mulk, Allah is saying, didn't we give you ears that you can listen from? Didn't we give you a heart that you can understand with? So after the month of Ramadan, and you want to stay firm on your deen, don't minimize, don't decrease your dosage of listening to good things. Inshallah, you never know which word falls upon the ears of your heart and you change your life. So don't ever stop. The second thing,
I also say some of these listeners who are watching us are righteous people.
Exactly.
Many of them, most of them.
A lot of scholars, a lot of
pious mothers, fathers, wives, husbands, youth who are watching, righteous people, and they love Islam, they love the deen, and we're just so honored that we're here to speak about this, and you guys are learning and watching. But you guys have to keep us in your du'as, and as you grow in your knowledge, remember to make dua for all those who are also on the same path. Go ahead, Mufti.
Yeah, Bajan. So I appreciate you saying that, Bajan. And the second thing that I was going to mention is in this juz that we're looking at it, is the idea of patience. You have the idea of in فَاصْبِرْ إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ تَنزِيلًا in Surah Dahr, فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ. Stay firm. And then in Surah Qalam, فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ وَلَا تَكُنْ كَصَاحِبِ الْحُوتِ إِذْ نَادَاهُ مَكْذُومٌ. Allah is telling the Prophet, no, you're going to get a lot of resistance. People are going to call you a sha'ir. People are going to call you majnoon. People are going to call you kahin. All these things are mentioned in 29 juz. People are going to some of your friends may not like you. You might be changing, but stay firm on your deen, as we spoke about the wife of Fir'aun in the Mashita, the hairdresser of the daughter of Fir'aun yesterday. So that's the second way that we can stay firm on our deen. The third is, you see this throughout the 29th juz. The whole Surah Nuh is the Surah Nuh is what? Is a dua of Nuh alayhi salam, right? If you stay firm on dua. Bajan, I thought of something today I never thought about before. an interesting analogy. I have the hadith in front of me. If you take over the screen for a second, I'm gonna pull the hadith out. Okay, give me a second.
I got you.
Talk to the brother.
I'm looking at the comments, and Jazakumullah khair, guys. Inshallah, we will be in Jannah together with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and your du'as will be with us. And these surahs, this our guide, our manual is this Quran. The reason why, if we were sitting here talking about something else, none of us would enjoy it as much. We're talking about the Quran. It's the most enjoyable discussion. We can talk about this all day. And Mufti Sahib, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
And because the Quran is so deep, it's so interesting, Mufti Sahib can make this tantalizing all day. So keep your attachment to the Quran as much as you can. Go ahead, Mufti Sahib.
Bajan, you know how powerful the fact is that we are the ummah of the Prophet Sallam. I mentioned this in Surah Hadith, just tafsir today, just isharatan. Imagine, I'm gonna give you a preview of the power of the crying of two ummatis of the Prophet Sallam in Jahannam. Okay, so imagine the power of our dua in our crying while we're living. If the power of their crying led to this encounter with Allah, then imagine the power of our crying while we're living. Why? Because they're from the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. Allah loves us. The Prophet loves us. Okay, so you have the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ says that inna rajulain mimman dakhala an-nar ishtadda siyahuma. They're crying so much. They keep crying.
You should have just asked me. I know this hadith memorized. I memorized when I was 12 years old.
I don't want to say I memorized it too, but go ahead. Yeah, thank you. Take the mic today then.
Yeah, I mean, ishtadda siyahuma. You know, they're crying, yelling out in hell, like, God, you know, like, help us. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the angels. Correct me if I'm wrong. Akhrijuhuma. Like, ask them. Like, why are they yelling so much? So these two guys in hell are like, we're yelling because hopefully Allah will hear us and have mercy.
Exactly. So maybe He can hear us and have mercy on us. Yeah.
You know, and then you finish the last part.
He says, فَإِنَّ رَحْمَتِي لَكُمَا أَن تَنْطَلِقَا فَتُلْقِيَا أَنفُسَكُمَا حَيْثُ كُنْتُمَا مِنَ النَّارِ. He says, you want my mercy?
Go back to hell.
Go back to where you came from. So one person will فَيُلْقِي أَحَدُمَا نَفْسَهُ. He'll just run back and jump into Jahannam. فَيَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا. Allah will make it cool and peaceful for him. The other one will not move. He will not go anywhere. And
that sounds like me. That sounds like I would not go anywhere. I would go like, inshallah, may Allah save us from hell, man.
I mean, inshallah. But this is the power of the two ummatis crying in Jahannam. ما منعك أن تلقي نفسك كما ألقى صاحبك. Why Allah was asking, what prevented you from going back to Jahannam like the way your friend went back? And he says, إِنِّي لَأَرْجُ أَلَّا تُعِيدَنِي فِيهَا بَعْدَمَا أَخْرَجْتَنِي مِنْهَا. He says, Wallahi ya Rabb, I was hoping that once you took me out of that place, you will never send me back over there. فَيَقُولُ لَهُ الرَّبِّ لَكَ رَجَاؤُكَ. You will get what you hope for. And then they'll be both sent to Jannah. So if this is the power of the crying of a person in Jahannam from the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, then what will be the power of our crying in this world? That's why our du'as, the next, we spoke about it in sequence. Listening is number one. Patience, stay steadfast. Number two. Third, du'a. Keep whatever du'as you're making, keep doing it. I'm gonna say a du'a. I wrote down a du'a. I'm gonna say it right now, okay? Before you leave, I'm gonna let you say something, then I'll conclude.
I don't want to say nothing, man. Honestly, I'm just enjoying this. I wish I heard this du'a from you, Mufti Sahib.
And then I'll say the last one as I was going through the whole 29 juz. So I'm giving you these four, like you have the wake-up call that all the whole 29 juz is telling us, and then you have these four mechanisms that will keep you strong. You have patience, we said listening, patience, dua, and then so many times in the 29 juz, Allah mentions the ibadah of the night. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَاسْجُدْ لَهُ وَسَبِّحْهُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُزَّمِّلُ قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Like you have this. So if you do that, if you do these four things, inshallah your iman, your motivation will stay steadfast throughout, and you can navigate in the worst places that are full of sins. No problem if we do these four things. And that's even moments of the Quran can be with us all year, but you can do these four things wherever you are. As I was thinking about Surah Nuh, I mentioned this last year, I think, so I was thinking about this dua in its 29th night. I was thinking that I was going to recite it today to the brothers and sisters that are coming for Khatam. And I said, before we leave today, this is the type of dua that we have to make in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we do it, Allah Allah, He's gonna have mercy on us, man. He's waiting for us to come to Him. And if we do it, our life in this world will be set, our life in Akhirah will be set, and inshallah, we'll be among those who will be helping, assisting the Prophet, taking people. The Prophet said there are people from my ummah that will take out people from Jahannam, the amount of tribes, Banu Tamim, hundreds of thousands. Allah will accept their intercession. So that's who we want to be like. If we think about the fact that we're going to get there, 29th juz wakes us up and makes us think like that. So let me conclude this dua. Bajan, ready?
Bismillah.
Bajan, put your mic on thing though, mute. I don't know if I know it that well. I'm going to just sing it, okay? He says, إلهي لا تعذبني فإني مقر بالذي قد كان مني खुदावंदा में सरतापा खता हूँ फकीरो खाक सारो बेनवा हूँ असीरे पंजाए हिरसो हवा हूँ बुरा हूँ पर तेरे घर का गदा हूँ इलाही ला तुअज़्ज़िबनी फ़इन्नी मुक़िर्रुम बिल्लज़ी क़द कान मिन्नी असीरे दाम हूँ जुर्म खता का है क्या कहना तेरे लुत्फ़ो अता का इलाही अब्दुकल आसी अता का मुक़िर्रुम बिज़ुनूबि वक़द दआका इलाही मुझ पे रहमत की नजर कर मेरे ऐबों से या रब दर गुजर कर शबे तारीक दिल में तू सहर कर करम बुस्तर है तू और बंद परवर सिवा तेरे नहीं है कोई मेरा मेरी जा भी है तेरी दिल भी तेरा सियाह बख्ती ने आके दिल को घेरा है उफसाया गुनाहों का गनेरा सियाह बख्ती ने आके मुझको घेरा है उफसाया गुनाहों का गनेरा नदामत से हूँ या रब पानी पानी इलाही मैं तेरा बंदा हूँ आसी नदामत से हूँ या रब पानी पानी इलाही मैं तेरा बंदा हूँ आसी इलाही ला तुअज़्ज़िबनी फ़इन्नी मुक़िर्रुम बिल्लज़ी क़द कान मिन्नी
Jazakumullah khair. Ameen, ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not punish us and forgive us. Mufti Sahib, I really don't have words to say. It was so heart touching, so powerful. You know, this is the perfect way I would like to spend my 29th night, in a way that my heart is soft, in a way that I can connect to Allah. And you've softened my heart. This pattar dil ko aapne naram kiya. You softened this rock hard heart of mine. May Allah reward you. And inshallah, we'll be back tomorrow with this episode.
Who's my son? He wants to say salam.
Hey, assalamu alaikum, Hussein. How you doing?
Say salam, Taibu.
Skittles.
You want to leave?
Skittles.
Okay, baby.
I want that.
Okay, after. Okay.
Who else? You have your other kids there? Yusuf and Maad?
Oh,
We have Yusuf.
MashaAllah. Assalamu Yusuf. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Allah protect them. Allah protect
We're
them.
going to go, inshallah. We're going to go for a camera, inshallah.
Make it right. Inshallah. Inshallah.